is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Maximum Apocalypse, specifically the Legendary Edition, which this was a game that I remember seeing quite a few people selling and just kind of seeing around, and I was like, I don't know what that's about. I initially thought it was a zombie apocalypse, just, bog standard zombie game, and it is surprisingly not. It has every apocalypse that you can pretty much think of. Multiple themes.
I actually asked you at the beginning, before after you had set everything up, I was like, oh, well, which apocalypse is this? Because, of course, I was like, oh, zombie apocalypse. Right. It's always a zombie apocalypse. Right. I didn't realize that there were actual, other scenarios.
Yep, nope. There are bugs.
Gross.
Alien, zombies, mutants, robot, kaiju. I guess there's a day, night, and, I don't know what that is about, but, hell. Vampires, dinosaur, Cthulhu mythos. Oh, sorry, hell is not. I think that's another separate thing. The Rapture, yokai. Oh, dragons.
Ooh.
Are what yokai are. So there you go. That's how many there are. This game is so much fun.
It is, even though I died. It was.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it has some faults that other people might have issues with. But just having that big a variety with the theme, and even though each objective has different scavenge decks, certain cards that are going to be in scavenge decks, and then map tiles. Even though the board is going to be relatively the same, it's always going to be city cards or city streets or things like that. It's all corresponding and falls under the theming of the monsters that are coming in and which scenario you have. So I very much enjoy this, and the first time we played it, I was like, oh, I gotta get my own copy, because it's so much fun, and these playmats are really nice for the Legendary Edition. Keeps everything organized.
It is really nice because it kind of has that fuzz, as in it's not gonna be so distracting that it's oh, this is a lot to look at.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Maximum Apocalypse?
I've enjoyed it. I played several times with different groups, and usually larger. Most of the ones I played with, I'm not sure if it's even been 5. I think it might have been 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And even that's not old. It's still us strategizing together.
Yeah.
Being cooperative is really nice. Again, I don't like overly complex things with so many options and so many things to think about in any given moment. But being cooperative, we can all share in the overload, and that works for me.
Right.
Generally, though, I am the one who, after, once we get really close to the end, I will be the one to run through and attract all the monsters and then die. And sacrifice myself for the good of the group. And I did that.
Don't go. Instead, he sacrificed.
I just did that on the second turn this time.
Yeah, we went hard.
That one.
We were he can do it by himself, right? Right?
But this also gives an interesting demonstration that, even a single person can be successful.
Yeah.
And a group can be successful, but you're probably not all going to survive.
Yeah, we definitely. I think by the end of the one that we played with 6, it was 2 people out of 6 that made it back to the van and survived. I love the different types of characters. I am always big on games that have a bunch of different cards that because this gives it almost unlimited variety.
Oh yeah. What are there, 12 or 15 different?
Yeah. So you have. Okay, you're the priest, adventurer, Ronin. There's the hunter, the fireman. Let's see. Yeah, the Ronin. Okay, there it is. Fireman, hunter, surgeon, the veteran, and his dog. And
which has its own special half page of rules.
Aww.
Yeah, because basically the dog can take damage, and depending on which veteran you are, you can have a different dog. Yeah. The gunslinger, the mechanic, scientist, and army ranger.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of characters.
No.
But I mean.
Each of them had their own theme deck,
exactly.
which are very thematic with them.
Yes.
I had very few weapons.
I had my whip.
Right.
My whip was in there. I have a floppy hat. I have a jacket. So
floppy hat?
It's slouch hat is what they call it.
Oh, okay.
But basically the Indiana Jones getup.
Right.
Very happy about that.
Right. And yeah, with the Ronin, I had my stance card that mattered how I was using my weapons, and then
Were you doing the crane stance?
No, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing that stance. But it was really cool because I had cards like Bushido that allowed me to utilize both of them on my card. And once I was in all gear, I was a badass. I was probably the one here that was actually going to be the one killing monsters. Took on the Horsemen of Death all on my own.
He took on 2 on his own, so
Well, not really.
can't say he defeated them.
And
Right.
and everyone else helped attack the one that killed me.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And I mean, each scenario pretty much has each apocalypse deck has about 3 scenarios.
Yeah,
So-
different difficulties.
Of different difficulties.
Yeah.
So like the farm fortification is a normal difficulty, defend the crops and blow them hills. Those are hard difficulties, and that's going to change. Of course, the setup, because each scenario has its own setup, as well as the way that the map is going to be, and then the different enemies that are coming out. This game is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Like at any given moment, like actually, I think it's hard mainly because of the number of people. Because that's more people rolling, so more chances that, like if
Things
I'm
are
in a spot,
gonna
like
spawn.
the more chances someone rolls a 6 every fucking turn before you even get a chance to go.
Yeah.
So by the time if you're in 6-player games and you're the last one and everyone rolls a 6, you could start off with 6 monsters, and essentially you will die. I mean, granted, if I mean the good thing is depending on the range, people can attack
Yeah.
to
That's
help.
the advantage
help
of
out.
having more people. Is
Yeah.
Your monsters only cause damage on your turn.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else can help crowdsource the destruction.
Right.
Which comes in very handy. You know, I've played games where we've had 4 or 5 monsters on somebody,
Yeah.
and we all just pounce on them, and they are fine.
And then they survive. Yeah, and it was weird when I was setting up the game. I was like, they don't really have a player variant, or like, oh, okay, with 3 players have this many tiles, or affect the deck in any way. You set it up like normal, but what they do is the fact that you are allowed to attack other people's monsters. So whereas you could get hosed by a shit ton of enemies coming your way, people can kill them, or take the damage. Or a lot of cards. I had some my War Cry actually. Where is it? I'll attract all monsters in play and attach them to you. So I mean, if Kat was about to die and I had ways to defend myself, I could have just pulled her monsters my way.
And we've used that tactic before.
Exactly. So I like that camaraderie. I mean, you gave up on Kat first turn. You're just like, she's a lost cause.
We
and then,
all gave
That
up
was
on
a joke
me
at the
first,
time.
but-
and then she
Yeah.
drew that idol card and got rid of them all. And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We might be able to survive. So the negatives that could, and they're not really a problem for me with this kind of game, but the negatives that I could see is player elimination.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, shitty draw, constantly getting monsters your way, bad rolls.
Which I have a rebuttal after that.
You could just be eliminated in your city.
Yeah.
I mean, especially during the run through, you both died turn 2, and then it was literally just me running back and forth trying to find the key. And I was very much at half health, over half health actually.
Yeah.
So I would not have survived long. We just got luck of the draw. You drew the chalice for first turn of the game, and we happen to have an angel. The Dusty Book came in pretty quickly, and then I happen to have the way that the map worked out. I got to go back and forth and scavenge and be like, where the fuck is that key? Angel, take it! Save the world! So we could have easily played this scenario again, and it could have gone a completely different way.
Oh, it would.
Yeah.
It would have.
There's so much inherent variety. That I mean,
the way we
it will
set
not
up
be
the map,
similar
yeah.
twice
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I mean, Kat
Because
brought
it
it
makes
up.
you randomly set up the map.
Right? Yeah, there's literally no rule in how you set. The only rule is that it has to touch another piece. So, I mean, the game did say generally you want a circular map. Like,
You don't want to hose yourself.
you want
and
to
make,
put
like, a
this here,
long
that
ass-
up there, and then this down here.
Just a tunnel of a map.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that.
Yes.
You could easily, I joked and said, make it a cross.
Yeah.
Do 2 and then 2, and just have a long cross board, which
Oh yeah, because we didn't have to go this way. We could have just gone.
yeah,
that
we could have gone a long way. You
Oh
could
my
have done it
God.
all the way here and then done the cross. I think that would have been
way. Wouldn't
hilarious.
have been the same game. The same game.
But and
Wouldn't have gotten
then
the funny
but you know what
moves.
worked it? You know what we wouldn't have gotten with the cross layout?
Absolutely.
We wouldn't have gotten 666 at the very beginning of the
Yeah.
fucking
What's a cross when you could have
when you can have the devil's number. So I actually really like that. Do you guys like that there's no correct, like oh, scenario, boom, here's how the maps lay out. Do you
I love map building. I love a random map. I frickin' love tiling.
I would say that in some games, having no layout can make it more difficult.
Yeah.
Can make it virtually impossible.
Right.
But I have not encountered that in any of the times I've played. Sometimes it is a really weird stretch.
Yeah.
But we have never not been successful. And that's the weird thing. Is it seems very difficult, and it seems very strategic, and it seems right on the edge. But I've also never not completed the scenario.
Yeah.
In any time I played, so it's not a giveaway, but it really is. I mean, it ratchets up the tension.
Right.
And I just know going in, we're not all going to live through this.
Exactly.
We've got to strategize the sacrifice.
Right.
And I meant to say this earlier after you had finished your one thought, but so I died in my second turn. I perished. It happens. It's all right. It's life.
Your adventure was over.
The reason that I was okay with it, because like I wasn't too beat up about it, like whether I got one more turn out of it or not, because I could already tell by the way it was going, it's gonna be a fast game, whether we all die or not.
Yeah.
So, because either the horseman's going to get you, or the decks are small enough, they're manageable, that you're just going to go through them real quick. If we did get lucky also by pulling the colors that you needed.
That's very lucky.
Yes.
So that was helpful, but like I wasn't. But this is different than like Dead of Winter dying and like someone exiles you and you're like, well, I can't fucking play anymore.
Right.
But it's an hour and a half. Like this was not that long at all. So
yeah, the 5 and 6 and 7 player games have been much longer.
They are very long.
But it's also the nature of the people, and they're not as serious and focused.
Right. I mean, with that many people, it's side conversations are going to happen.
Sure. But I mean, I would also rebut the problem with player elimination is because it is fully cooperative. Doesn't mean that we can't participate.
True.
It just means we're not actually rolling and moving stuff.
Right.
We were
still can strategize.
It holds the pandemic idea that
peanut gallery.
we
were your peanut gallery.
And you didn't need to rely, but we certainly could have helped strategize things.
Right.
If you would have had run into some real weird decisions.
Right.
Mostly we were those two guys, like the two old Muppets that sit up and like.
Oh, what an idiot! The Ronin's about to die.
Pretty much.
Oh man, he did it! I can't believe he killed the Horseman of Death. Which I really liked. I liked this theme quite a bit. Which. Fun. I mean, because the way you set up the deck is you take the horseman out, and then you shuffle into the four decks, equal decks, and then one is going to be... So it has that pandemic feel, where at some point, the horseman will show up.
Right.
And it'll be relatively spaced out instead of, like, you shuffle them all together, and it's like, oh, horseman, 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 and then you just lose the game.
Oh, well, they're all here.
So, it was, it was an interesting strategy, and like you mentioned... If someone does get a bunch of enemies, it's like, okay, well, I have a card that's going to pull them all towards me, and then I'll run out and just die. Yeah, I'm out, but like all my enemies go away, and then tokens get placed on a spot. What made this hard was searching the decks and finding them, and then the high health monsters. But
which is typical. Now, what's unique about this particular one is the special cards.
Yeah.
The 3 special artifacts.
You'll need to find fuel and make it back.
Most of the time you need to find fuel. Your ammo will always come in handy. Medicine, food. Yeah. So you're still searching. Exactly. That's still an important mechanic.
Yes. But I feel this one was balanced because it's like, there's a lot of high health and high damage monsters, but I don't need, like, I drew fuel, I'm like, I don't need this. So I was searching for 3 specific things and happened to get an angel. That's what makes it hard. It's like I could have never drawn an angel. Like, I could have still been searching, and eventually monsters will show up, and I will slowly whittle myself down. So I really like
one person taking on the whole deck of monsters, then that takes them a lot.
It's like I can only protect myself so much before I just get overrun. Yep. So, I mean, if you don't like games that are completely random, which I would say this game has a lot of randomness. I mean, with the deck that you're drawing, the searching deck, the monster deck, and then the tile layout, this might not be the game for you, but I think all of those are adequate levels of randomness. Yeah. Because they're manageable.
And they create replayability.
Exactly. I'd hate this game if how you attacked, you went, well, I missed. Like,
yeah.
I despise games like that. It's just like, okay, I know exactly how much damage I'm going to do. Yes, I mean, the randomness of monsters coming my way, but it's like, okay, it's not even my turn. Like, let's say I'm going last. You roll a 4, well, I get a monster. But then it's like, oh, okay, you get a chance to kill it. You get a chance to kill it before it even comes my way. Mm-hmm. And even then, I get a chance to kill it because they only attack at the end of your turn. All the randomness is mitigated by the fact that you can do something about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of control that goes along with all the randomness.
Right. And I love games where players have a character and they have you get a special ability, and on top of that, you get a special deck of cards, which is, I mean, it feels like...
Because you are your own character. You're not just like a bog standard.
Yeah. We don't share the same, like, I have a special ability, but we share the same cards, you know? Like, I also have a bat or whatever, something stupid. It's like, no one else has a katana. Only I have the katana. And it's not even one of those things where all the 3 decks are resources. It's not like, I drew a gun, and it's like no one else can happen to find a gun, you know?
Right.
Although there are.
I know there are guns in there, but
anybody,
you know what I'm saying.
Could draw them.
What you have is unique to you.
What you start
the character
with,
deck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one else is going to have a whip, no one else is going to have a katana, like you said.
Yeah.
What's the special priest weapons?
Not many weapons. Holy book.
Children?
Remove
children?
Oh, what's his little hands?
Stop it. The
Fingerless gloves.
The exorcism came in really handy. Rosary.
Okay.
That's just, most of these are either...
He's a protector.
Oh, I do get a Desert Eagle.
Hey, okay. Alright.
From like...
Obviously, this is the priest from Priest.
Oh, that movie sucked.
Oh, I don't know if I ever saw it.
Was that the one with, that was the one with, the guy who plays Vision in the Marvel movies, right? Paul Bettany?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different
I'm
movie.
thinking of the series, which is based on the Marvel
okay.
imprint comic.
There was a movie with Paul Bettany, and he was a priest. I think it was called Priest. It was not that good.
It was called Paul Bettany.
Because there was like an ice cream truck guy, and then like he walks out it's like nighttime, and they're in this grocery store, and it's just like, and it's like jaw like gets really long, and then it's like arms get really long, and then like crawls towards him. I remember that scene.
Sounds familiar, but
right, it was not that good. Just like say your prayers, motherfucker.
So it looks like I've got 2 weapons in the entire deck.
Yeah.
So I would.
So everyone plays their role. I mean, because
light role playing, kind of like Betrayal games.
Yeah, I mean, this game.
It could be a lot more role play.
Well, there's an RPG
for
this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they actually just released it. I think it was.
Oh, wow.
I think it was a separate Kickstarter, or I mean, because the game comes with like a quick play RPG like book. Yeah, the role playing guide.
Oh, okay.
But I think there's a legitimate, like actual hardback role play in this universe.
Interesting.
Which would be really cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play a campaign of a role playing game. Like these would be great for one offs.
Yeah.
Fantasy Flight actually made a series called The End of the World, and it was a RPG. And they had 4 different apocalypses. They had robot, alien, zombie, and gods. Wrath of the Gods. And one of those in the Wrath of the Gods was the Rapture. So this game is basically that, but you don't need a DM, which is really cool. Yeah. And those were basically one-offs. Yeah. I mean, like, because you're supposed to play yourself, you actually make a character sheet of you, and your stats of what you and the people you're playing with perceive you to be. So, like, if I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to make strength a 10, everyone's going to be like, it's a 4 at best. And then, so, they kind of keep you in check, and then, but it's like, I'm not fucking surviving the Rapture. Are you kidding me? But a Ronin could. So it does lend itself for you to be to role play or make those role playing comments. Yeah. No, I'm not ever actually like playing a Ronin, but you can make things.
Could. But
I could, yes.
But it doesn't require it. But it does. Right. It does sort of lend itself that way.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm gonna become Principal Lewis in the Apocalypse episode. Just sharpen my teeth.
Yeah, you just file your teeth and so you can eat flesh. Yeah. This game gives me a lot. I mean, it does give me a lot of different other game vibes. The biggest one is the Blacklist game, Street Masters, Alter Quest, and the other one that they've done, Brook City. where it's a similar idea. There's a board, and then you have your own unique character deck, and then there's a unique boss and stage, which is I'm loving card games because they just lend themselves for the most variety that you could ever get in a standard board game.
Yeah. Our special, like our characters, getting to scavenge, like going out and having to find something, being an objective. Other than not having a trader, it made me think of Dead of Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's like, okay, yes, well, we have to help each other.
Yeah.
We're not trying to turn on each other, though, which is good.
Although
I just turned on myself.
I don't get Dead of Winter vibes, but
not when we actually played. No, but when you were
when I was explaining it.
I just
I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, once we played it, then because you told me something like Street Fighter, and you started mentioning those games, and I was like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, now okay. I get it. The overall theme of Dead of Winter.
Yes. Because guess what? Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna look up the Rapture. And the other, where is it?
Although I will mention, while you're looking that up, just for full disclosure, nobody saw the setup. The setup of this game is more time-consuming.
Oh, is it?
Than a lot of them. Because certain tiles are used for certain scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Certain cards in each of the 3 decks. So you do have to go through all of this and separate everything out, which you were kind enough to do ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
But to let people know, it does take more setup than a typical game.
That could actually be a bigger problem. I'm glad you brought that up, because the way that the game could go, and it almost happened, was the setup took longer than the game. And that could be frustrating. But in a case like this, if I had died as well, we could have easily just been like, oh, okay, we'll just flip these over and then just start again.
Right.
But some games are literally like, okay, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to set up, and the game sucks ass, and it doesn't last that long.
Or could finish prematurely, and you're like, okay.
So the Rapture one actually had 2 difficulties. Both of them were hard. The other one was Revelations. So there was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth as figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. Revelation 6:12-13. The objective is you have to get an old book and deliver it to the church, and do not let more than 1 seal break.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, that's just those 2 that I just mentioned. That's 2 out of 30 scenarios. This game is so much fun.
And even within the same theme, those are very, very different play styles, very different strategies.
Yep. Just that alone, it sounds like you have to find a book and take it to the church.
Which is one of the tiles.
Which is one of the tiles. It's like, okay, let's hope we find it early.
Yeah.
But you could easily do this layout, and the church is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not. That's a desert.
Or you go all the way out here, and then you go, oh crap, now we got
we got to go all the way out.
Found the tunnel.
Nice. So I also like the fact that the tiles do something different. Mm-hmm. Like on reveal, draw a monster, enter, draw a monster, and they're somewhat thematically tied to it, like an open field. Once you go in there, there's a monster, and then if you end your turn there you get a monster.
Just
out of the city streets,
yes.
You're always going to get one.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
You just stay out of the streets.
Yeah.
Hide in the tunnels, hide in the shelters.
Yeah, I'm so glad a shelter
hide your
exists.
Tunnels, hide your wives.
Yeah, it's a good balance on the tiles of things that are beneficial and things that are terrible, and some of them are both.
Yes. Yeah. So, I think this game is great. Do you guys have any negatives?
No, I think we covered mine. Which would have been like those.
I wouldn't say negative, just the cautionary about the setup.
Yep.
The sheer variety.
Yeah.
It's replayable, but on the other hand, it does have a lot of randomness. If you want to feel like you've got tighter control over, with a single board,
right,
a single strategy for playing.
There is also.
That's what I hate about chess. God damn it.
We hit me that rulebook. There is actually an alternate setup as well for the monster spawn. So there's actually, if you like to play with the monster spawn tokens, take out all the numbered tokens and include the number of safe and ambush tokens that suit your desired so you can actually play with a different way that monsters spawn.
Interesting.
Which could be better than just rolling the 2 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of is I do enjoy the art. It has a Borderlands kind of comic book
I
art.
see that.
Yeah.
Very sketched.
I despise the ammo art.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking. They are literally dicks.
I don't know.
Virtually all of these tokens could be done better, I think.
Yeah. They really can. The monster spawn, I mean, I see it. It is obviously a zombie mouth. It looks either like a cupcake or a basketball hoop.
Or a basketball hoop.
Yeah, it looks like a basketball going into a basketball net.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's supposed to be its teeth. So
Yeah.
you would know that if there's another card that had that specific...
But, I mean, and literally the ammo is just like they put the 3 as actual bullets. I don't know why they just didn't do the same thing for the 1.
I don't know if they were just trying to be ha-ha.
They're like, ha, we'll make cocks. Bullets look like wieners.
There it is. There's his mouth. So, you in black and white, it's better, but as the...
Yeah.
It looks like a piece of ice cream on top of its cone.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a lot of things, but not a monster.
But not a dick.
Is what it looks like. So, yeah. And the fact that you can play a character with a dog, and the dog is either a Mastiff or a German Shepherd.
Oh, love that. Name him Sam.
So
have to kill him.
I think it's a Mastiff. Is the other.
That's the vet.
What? The vet?
The vet and his dog.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Oh, yeah, the veteran. Yeah, what did I say? Oh, yeah,
No,
it's the veteran.
character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, veteran and his
plays a
dog.
dog.
Yeah, and it's so cool.
Yep.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give it? Cat, I'm looking at you.
I'll give it an 8.
Here's looking at you, Gold. Here's looking at you, kid. Give it an 8?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Right.
I like it.
I'm going between 8 and 9, so probably 9.
9?
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. I think I'm going to give it a 9. Like, I have had a great time. And normally I don't like games with a lot of people, like max players, just because downtime is insane. So you're sitting there like, okay, it's going to be my turn. Oh, wait, I died before my turn could happen. That's pretty cool.
Because someone rolled the 6 3 times in a row.
I'm getting fucked. Oh, can anyone... Oh, nope. You're the one person next to me can't help.
Oh,
okay.
someone set a bomb off in my area.
I have ammo. You have a gun? No.
Wouldn't you like to know?
But it was so much fun because we did the robots one, because I was like, let's do very hard, and it was very hard, but we still were able to do it.
Well, not all of us.
Yeah, the 2 people that mattered. No. And that's another thing, actually, that I like, is this isn't a game where it's like, oh, if anyone dies, you immediately lose. Yeah. And they could have easily done that. It's like, it's very hard because one person might not survive.
That is actually a variant to make it more difficult. They've actually got 5 simple ways to make it more difficult if you really want to.
Oh, neat. That's pretty cool. I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Difficulty customization. Switch to spawn tokens over dice. Add more ambush or empty-handed cards. Remove the 3 monster token cap on map tiles. Have players roll to set their starting hunger level. Add more tiles to the map. God. I know, right? So it's like, hey, all right, set up. All right, what's everyone hunger at? All right, I am at 4 hunger immediately.
So I'm pretty much starving.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about the hunger
Which is
thing.
actually something funny, because I was like, oh, so that's something that you're not going to think about. It's like, well, what if you're just getting off work, you didn't eat lunch that day, the apocalypse starts, and you're like, I want dinner.
Oh my god, I wanted Taco Bell,
like, and
the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse
you're like in
show
line,
up.
you're about to get your stuff, and the raid sirens go off. You're like, ugh. Does this mean I don't get my chalupa?
Can I just still get my Grande Nacho Supreme? Pandemic variant, you can play that whenever you roll a tile with 3 monster tokens already on that tile. You place a monster... literally pandemic variant, where it explodes.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're up to the challenge, feel free to combine and mash up monster decks. It makes things less predictable and more difficult. Can you survive the zombie apocalypse after a nuke went off and aliens invaded?
Everyone just
That's interesting. What was the one you said? Oh, well, you can also add insanity.
Really?
And day-night cards. So
yeah. So
you already have a variety. What was the one you said?
I just said there are suggestions in the book, and you read them.
Oh, okay.
That was it. You did it.
So yeah, Oh, okay. End of game. Oh, I guess there isn't one where it's like if one person dies, then
I thought I saw that.
The 5 I read.
Yeah.
So I mean, those would still. So there you go. There's even more variants with different decks that can be thrown in. So
it's probably impossible to have everybody survive.
I agree.
Probably. Yeah, they probably made it that way. All right, so that's our thoughts on Maximum Apocalypse. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.